Weather.
I get my information top of the hour every hour.
92.3 Nigeria Info. And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dion.
Welcome back. Still Hard Fact 90.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. I'm Dio. 9 minutes gone past 4 p.m. Conversation continues. Many thanks for staying tuned. And from now till about 5 p.m., we're discussing, no doubt, a very important matter, as every other matter discussed on the station and on the show is concerned. In this hour, we're discussing local governance in Nigeria. Our local government is still a relevant tier of government, with certain specificities to a particular local government here in Rivers State. We'll take it as our case points, if you will. And you're welcome to join the conversation. And other matters that have to do with the polity and the politics, especially as the political permutations and combinations vis-a-vis 2023 have already commenced at different levels all over the country. My guest for the conversation in this hour is Dr. Chidi Lloyd. He's chairman, Emohua Local Government Area. Dr. Lloyd, good evening to you. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Thanks, Dio, for having me.
Now, I do have several matters we're going to be discussing, as I imagine you may have deciphered already. But before then, information that just reached me, and I do mean that. I just came across this just a few minutes ago before we went live. Reports have it that there is a crisis in Rumoro Ogbakere over some youth election that either has taken place there or about to take place there. I don't have the details right now. Can you tell what the situation is and how you are addressing that matter?
Well, thanks, Dara, for this very important question. I wonder how you got to know about it. Actually, there has been a ban on youth activities with regard to elections in Rivers State by the governor. The governor had actually said there shouldn't be any youth elections, or CDC as it were. And before I assumed office, I was told that some persons in Rumoro or Bakri were trying to conduct an election. And that has brought about some skirmishes here and there. So as a council, we would not fold our hands and allow anybody to breach the peace of the council. So what I did immediately, when I got wind of the fact that there was going to be crisis, I immediately had to cancel whatever thing they have done. If the governor's directive is still in force, meaning that all they did was null and void. So I have put in place a caretaker committee for that community to take care of youth activities in the community, and they will report directly to me, and they will be giving me a weekly brief. And the chairman of this committee will be Austin Nyeruka. I've put one Austin Nyeruka as chairman, Miracle Bright as vice chairman, God knows Mekwa as secretary, Wanda Oku as assistant secretary, Peter Acheru as PRO, Godpower Amadi as treasurer, Igwechi statesman Ama as speaker, Obunezioku Elekwachi as financial secretary, Ovulem Ojire as welfare secretary, and praise God, Badon as provost. It's actually a 10-man committee that will report to me from time to time, on a weekly basis rather, with regard to activities in Rumoro.
Is this the CDC or
no? This youth,
or the youth
elections.
Okay.
Youth elections, because the ban on elections, this tier of governance and communities is still in force.
When you mentioned skirmish a while ago, what did you mean by that? How bad?
No, not too bad, because what I did, I don't want to be a chairman that will solve crisis. I like to be one step ahead. Once I have brief information on what will happen, I like to nip it in the bud. So what happened was that there were, of course, in an election, people would take sides. So that's what is causing the tension in the community, as it were. So we have taken a proactive step.
All right, that's very much desirable, considering some of the recent and not so recent happenings in Emohua. It's good to know that we're forestalling any crisis happening over there.
Yes, that's why I try to do what I did in Ruboro now to forestall any crisis. And I want to appeal to everybody who is from Ruboro that besides being their chairman, I'm also a very revered chief of Ruboro. So they should see this as something done by their chief in order to forestall any crisis.
All right, now I do have questions, like I mentioned a while ago, as regards local government administration, very, very much, of course, with respect to your council especially. But before we come to that, let's talk about your party for a bit. The People's Democratic Party has been on the news for some weeks right now, not for the best of reasons, I suppose. You've been on the news for what's been described as a leadership crisis within your party. Now, very briefly, what in your estimation is responsible for this leadership crisis? Do you suppose that the River State governor in particular has vested interest and might be invested in that crisis? And do you also, finally, are you convinced that with the meeting, the high-powered meeting held by your party recently, that these concerns, leadership issues, have finally been resolved?
Dayo, I'd like to take exception quickly to the mention of the governor of River State at this level. I have always said at different fora when I appear here, for you people to use your studio to educate the people rather than hit up the politics. I do not know why you chose to single out the governor of River State of the 36 governors. Also.
I can tell you why.
Well, if you have your facts, but please don't do it before me, because I have more information than you. The governor of River State does not have.
That's why you're here, to clear the air.
That's what I'm saying. So if you want for me to educate you on the happenings in our party, I'll plead with you that you listen.
Please go ahead.
Good. Now, the governor of River State does not have any vested interest as to what happens. The man is just too busy here with governance than get involved in what is going on at the national. What we perceive is not unusual in a democratic space. Okay, for me, all I plead is that the actors, the dramatic persona that are involved in this, in the disagreements, as it were, must remember first that this country must be salvaged from the malgovernance that we experience now. Nigerians have become very, very, very unpatriotic with the when it comes to asserting themselves as Nigerians. We have become too ashamed to say that we are Nigerians because of the things that are going on. Now, the things that were absorbed are now the things that are becoming the usual norm. Killings, life does not mean anything. Those who ought to provide hospitals for us do not have any shame in going abroad to seek medical attention, and they even announce it. They insult our sensibilities when they say so. I think that those are the things that should bother us. So for us in the PDP, my plea to all the parties that are involved is that please, they should provide an alternative to Nigerians.
I would like
Nigerians can't wait for 2023 to vote out this administration.
I would like you to enlighten me further on the happenings within your party, especially with respect to the governor and the current chairman, Prince Uche Secondus. Now, in the public fora, the governor described your chairman, Uche Secondus, as a liar and said several quote-unquote, or in inverted commas, unprintable things about him. And apparently, reportedly, he's been in the forefront of also insisting or demanding his resignation or his ouster from office. So how does that not portray...
I'm a lawyer. I'd like you to furnish me with evidence before evidence of the things you have alleged that the governor said. Either a newspaper cut out or his voiceover or something before I would know.
Are you unaware?
Just 1 second.
Okay.
I wouldn't want you to reduce this very, very revered program to what would I say, to rumor things you hear from the rumor mill.
So are you unaware of some of the things I just said, that the governor publicly described Prince Uche Secondus as a liar and has said several
show me evidence. Don't base this program.
No, my question is, are you unaware?
I am. You are unaware.
Okay,
yes.
so if you're unaware, we'll just move on then. Maybe some other time when we prepare for this conversation, then we can do that. All right.
And it's important, let me say this, Dayo, that whatever problems there were have been resolved. You know what the beauty about the PDP is that the dispute resolution mechanisms work, as opposed to the party where I was before I came back to the PDP. There, things don't work. Everybody's ego is, up there. But here, you saw how what would have been an implosion of the biggest political party in Africa was resolved. All the organs of the parties were activated, and within minutes it was resolved. Why are you not dwelling on that? Why are you interested?
My last question was: have the issues been resolved?
Absolutely. You can go to the bank with that.
All right, great. So let's move on then. Let's talk about the issue of local governance in Nigeria. From certain perspectives, it does appear, and for some time right now, a considerable amount of time, the belief in maybe not a few quarters is that the relevance of local governments. We have 3 tiers of governance in the country. We are at the federal level, state level, and local level. Perspectives in many quarters are that the third tier, the local government, has been whittled down somewhat, and its relevance keeps diminishing day after day. As far as you're concerned, you've been a local government chairman and all, are local governments still a relevant tier of government in this country?
Well, yeah, it is. The local government system is still very relevant because...
what makes them so? And I say that against this background as well. You have even state governors across the country taking over the responsibilities of local government chairman. Governors now concern themselves with markets. Governors now concern themselves with motor parks. Governors now concern themselves with things that hitherto had been the exclusive domain of a local government council chairman.
Well, what has happened is that you recall that the 1976 Constitution created a problem for local governments. It turned the local government system into an unfortunate orphan, as it were, because the local government system began to have a crisis of identity. Now, the Constitution, the 1999 Constitution, as amended, created the local government system. And if you go to the 4th schedule of the Constitution, it gives the functions, it outlines the functions of the local government, just as we have enumerated them. But unfortunately, the governors had to wade in into some of these problems because of the quality of people that have manned the local government administration. So no government could have left an issue like sanitation for the local governments to handle. For example, in Rivers State, you know that the refuse that is generated in Port Harcourt are actually generated by people who live and do business in 4 states. The Rivers State government evacuates refuse that are generated by people from the 4 states that surround us. A lot of people live in Port Harcourt and go to work at Aba. Ditto for Bayelsa, ditto for Imo State, ditto for Akwa Ibom. So we have had to evacuate these refuse. Now, is that what you would have left with the Port Harcourt City local government area to do? So what the state governments do is to intervene at this very critical infrastructure. That is why it does appear that the state governments are overbearing. No. When I was in the All Progressives Congress, we were one of those who used to peddle, who used to misinform the people, as it were, with apologies. That the state government would not, the governor of the state would not let local governments in the state function because he tampers with the allocations that come to them. Until I became local government chairman, and I can bet you, Dayo, on this program, with everything that I hold sacred, that the governor of Rivers State does not even give a damn about when we hold our meetings.
Why then?
Just hold on 1 second so that you don't bridge my thoughts. I have attended 3 of these meetings, and on no account have our revenue dwindled. Not a fathom has been removed from allocations that come to the local governments, and that is why I'm sure you are hearing the vibes from the LGA You are hearing the vibes from the local government area, Emohua, where I come from. You are hearing the vibes that are coming out from the other local government area. What we are doing now in Rivers State, Algon, is doing a peer review. There is a subtle competition amongst us. And at the end of the day, you will see what will come out of it. We are falling over each other on how to actually bring governance to our people by creating the infrastructure that are needed, by sitting down in the office and allow people to assess us.
Let's talk still about the issue of finances. You say that the Rivers State governor, or government led by the governor, is unconcerned about local government finances. However, how do you explain that?
I wouldn't want you to say unconcerned.
Okay, does not tamper with.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because the governor is concerned about what we do with the funds that get to us.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So how come then that the efforts by the federal government to ensure what it describes as financial autonomy for local governments.
Yes, the government.
And pardon me, and that is that local governments get what is due to them. If that were not an issue, if there were not concerns that state governments were interfering in some way in monies that should go to local governments across the country, I'm not sure the federal government would make it an issue.
I like the use of words. Yeah. If the state governments, and I'm sure the federal government did not make any particular reference to Rivers State government. And I'm talking to you now as a dramatist person. Dayo, you are not a chairman of council in Rivers State, I am. And I'm telling you on good authority, and you know me, my word is my bond. That is, even if I lose everything on earth, I hold my word very sacred. And I'm telling you on good authority that we get all that is due us.
Are local government independent?
Absolutely. Am I not coming from work? I was in the office when you called me. So what kind of independence are you talking about?
Do you think that the state governor of the state or the governor of the state should be able to suspend the local government chairman?
What does the law say now? So we shouldn't be talking about things that have been laid to rest. There are Supreme Court decisions that now say that no democratically elected local government executive can be thrown out of office. So why not bother about that? Why not educate Rivers people about the position of the Supreme Court decision in the plethora of cases that have come before them?
The Rivers State governor has suspended local government elected council chairman in the past.
Before the decisions of the Supreme Court?
Reportedly after.
No. There are things you shouldn't say about this governor. This is a lawyer. He's a life bencher. I'm not here to bury Caesar. I only tell you things that work here.
Actually, after.
I'm not here to praise Caesar. But we must tell ourselves the truth. The governor, no governor has given the judiciary his pride of place in Rivers State like Governor Nyesom Wike. I don't want to sound immodest, but this is the truth.
But the governor did suspend elected council chairman.
I said before or after the Supreme Court decision.
After there'll be more than one decision.
Can you give me an instance? I like facts.
Okay, fine. Let's move on from that then. Okay, let's talk about the issue of still about local governance. So there are several major talking points I want us to issues. Look at education, for example. There have been concerns raised. In the last couple of days, there was a trending story on our news here based on investigations conducted by our news department as to the state of schools in some local government areas, especially in the rural areas. I think Eche was the focus. There's been some response from the local government council chairman, I think Obina Ayahu, regarding that matter now. But similar narratives exist in other local governments within Rivers State. The quality of education, what we have is we have deprecate situation with the schools. We have schools that don't have teachers in many instances, without ceilings, without roofs, without furniture, without bathrooms or water. How are local councils able to stay relevant, as you say, and yet we have schools where, in my estimation, we cannot say that any kind of teaching learning experience is going on in those places?
Well, I do know that the rough in the education system didn't start with Governor Nyesom Wike. Yes, agreed. I would not be doing myself any good if I say that such situations don't exist. But I also like to commend you for saying that my colleague Obinaya rose to the occasion. That is actually what you should do, draw our attention to these issues. And when you did that, Obinaya reacted swiftly. Okay? Now, they also tell the people that the government of Rivers State has also intervened in schools like government girls secondary school, Rumokuta, the school in Eteo, the schools everywhere. You know, but Dio, you also know that in governance, you have so many things, you know, that yearn for attention, and this will be done within very scarce resources. I also know that the chairman of the Universal Basic Education in Rivers State, Venerable FN Aka, is also doing a lot of job, a great job in this respect. A lot of schools have been fixed by the UBE. I'm chairman of council.
What's the state of schools in your local government area?
Well, I have just today is Friday, right? On Wednesday or so, I was at the community secondary school, Emohua, and I saw some problems. I noticed some things that need attention. I noticed that the toilets that were there have been vandalized and so on and so forth. And the council is going to intervene immediately to provide some of these facilities that are there. So I said vandalize, and this brings me to another discussion, that the people, those in whose communities these facilities have been provided, must police the infrastructure that are provided for them. Why on earth would anybody go and loot a WC? What will you be doing with it? Why would you loot doors and windows that have been provided for you? The school in Rumoya is about losing its accreditation for WAEC, except something urgent is done. And that's why I went there to do so, because one very prominent citizen of that community drew my attention to it. And in honor of that prominent son, the council will be waiting within very scarce resources. I have lined up a series of projects that we intend to flag off this week, spanning to next week. Today we just, the honorable member representing Emohua State Constituency, Honorable Sam Oge, was on hand to flag off the secretariat of the reactivated vigilante group in Emohua, because you recall that I had said in this studio that we had passed and we had presented an executive bill before the councillors to reform, to establish and regulate the activities of vigilante groups in Emohua local government. So we are giving it a face now. Today we did the flag off of the construction of the secretariat, and we have three road constructions that will be flagged off next week. You know, 1 kilometer road with 2 side drainages in Eveko, in Rondele, and in Ubimini. So this shows you that council can actually construct roads if they want to. So that brings me to it. The people must police the projects in their place and not wait for Governor Yeson Wike to come and police them because he's governor of Rivers State.
So that thought plus, this Hard Facts 91.3 Nigeria Info here in Port Harcourt. Dr. Chidi, Lloyd, Chairman Emohua LGA, is my guest to discuss the local government in Nigeria amongst other relevant issues. We're going to a quick break. We'll return in a moment. Conversation will continue. Do please stay with us.
Information is a two-way thing. Nigeria Info, it's your turn. Let's talk.
Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop 9, Mediatrix of All Gracies Plaza, opposite FIRS, Stadium Road, Port Harcourt, and book your commercials. Call 0817 001 8162. That is 0817 001 8162. And let us connect you to your customers. Connect with your customers. Advertise on 92.3 Nigeria Info. Visit our downtown office at Shop.
And now, Hard Facts. Hard Facts with Dio.
Welcome back. Still Hard Facts 91.3 Nigeria Info and her input Harcourt and Dio. 21 minutes to go before 5. Discussions continues. Thanks for staying tuned. Local government and its relevant to Nigeria and other related matters is what we're discussing in this hour. My guest, Dr. Chidi Lloyd, Chairman Emohua LGA. Dr. Lloyd, welcome once again.
Thank you, Dio.
Let's talk about a very important matter besides the issue of education throughout the country. Know that, maybe in certain parts more so than others, is the issue of security. When we talk about in River State, for example, one of the hot spots in River State may very well be your local government area, Emohua local government area. And I think one of the first things you did when you assumed office as council chairman was to dissolve the or existing local government councils. Correct me if I'm wrong. If that was your predecessor, it was you. Well, I remember it was about that time. The popular or famous or infamous, depends on your perspective, OSPAC, vigilante group, was dissolved. And many persons did express fear that this dissolution would worsen the security situation in your local government area. Security, no doubt, is extremely crucial. Government owes that as a major responsibility to its citizens. How have you handled that matter? And what are you doing to ensure the safety of lives and property of business owners or residents of Emohua local government area?
Well, thanks, Dayo, for this very important question. That was about the first thing we did. What had happened was that my predecessor in office, High Chief Tom Alizi, had actually taken a look at the existence of what was then OSPAC and disbanded them on the orders of the governor of River State because of reports of high-handedness on the part of some of the members of the OSPAC. They actually had started constituting more problems that they came to solve. So I know reasonable government will fold its arms and allow any group of people masquerade under some sense to begin to unleash terror on the people. So when I came on board, I actually reiterated the ban on this group, but who did something swiftly, convoked a town hall meeting where it was agreed that communities should send representatives to the council who will be reprofiled and set up in these Emohua vigilante services, Emohua local government vigilante services, which we have christened MOVs, because we try to make it autonomous to our own local government. So these communities immediately sent in their representatives, and the profiling is ongoing as I speak to you. At the divisional police station in Rumuji, all the security agencies are involved to profile in these nominees from the communities with a view to ensuring that people who will make it at the end of the day are clean and not tainted. We do not want to have any member of any cult group in any of them.
How are you sure that members of the non-disbanded OSPAC will not make it into this?
No, absolutely. We didn't say that members of the now disbanded OSPAC are all bad. I actually said that those of them who the communities know are good could be renominated into the group, into the new. And that's what we've done. The essence now is that there is a law that is going to back their activities. They now know what to do and what not to do. So it's now going to be easy to regulate them.
And one of the biggest problems with the likes of OSPAC and similar vigilante groups was the question of who they were answerable to.
That's it. Now they are not going to be answerable to anybody other than the law that sets them up. We are shopping for someone that will be the commandant of these new movies. And of course, the law has set out criteria. It's going to be a retired policeman. Recall that I have a chief security advisor who was a retired brigadier general. So all that I'm tapping from his wealth of experience as how to tackling the security situation in Emohua. And I can tell you that in less than no time, when these structures are put in place, Emohua would no longer be on the news for the wrong reasons.
Now, the issue of funding for vigilante groups also came up, not just in Emohua, but even in other parts of River State. Repeated cases of harassment of people, making demands of them, levies and taxing them, vigilante groups, I mean. So, is that captured in the law in Emohua as to how the vigilante group will be funded?
Absolutely. It appears you were there when we were doing the groundbreaking ceremony today. No council can fund that. But what we have done is that I got into office and I realized that there's something called security vote. And I actually want to use it for the reason it is provided for. We intend to give stipends, not salary as it were, because this is a pro bono job. It's a volunteer job at the end of the day. So we intend to give stipends to these movies so that they would not, you can't put people together and not bother about their welfare, which is why they try to fend for themselves. So we want to take out that burden from them and get them to do. The only job they are brought to do is to ensure that violent crimes are eliminated in the local government. So I've also used the opportunity to call on well-meaning individuals of the local government who enjoy peace, who like peace, to see how they can fund, how they can assist us with logistics. We also call on companies that do business in the local government to also assist with logistics. Very soon I'll also come up with a bill that will create a security trust fund where people can put in their money, and we are going to get eminent personal indigents of Emohua local government, the likes of Ohan Sergeant Awuse, the likes of the Chief Samson Abaro, very eminent people to manage the trust fund. So anybody that is putting his money in the trust fund will not think that it will be fretted away by politicians. No, it will only be used to make sure that there is peace in the local government.
So Emovis, when fully formed, will not be settling disputes
between
husband and wife.
No.
Will not be detaining people and collecting bail.
No. That's why I said, look, you can't give people power and not regulate them. And most of these boys do not have the kind of education that you and I have. And that's why they will be going for periodic trainings so that they cannot act or traverse their powers. Now the law is clear. You are not to settle any matrimonial cause. You are not to settle any issues that relate to land. This should be left for the chiefs and elders in the communities. And husband and wives should also learn to settle their problems. When it becomes irretrievable, when it becomes such that they can approach their pastors and their daddies and mummies and geos and leave the movies to concentrate on one single function to nip violent crimes on the board.
Let's talk about healthcare, a very critical matter as well. Now, instructively, you did mention a while ago when we were discussing the matter of education, you talked about what the state governor has done with schools in River State, and no doubt some commendable effort has been made. But the problem usually is state governments focus a lot of attention in urban areas, in the cities. The problem thus usually is with what happens in rural areas within our local governments in the hinterlands. With healthcare as well, so I'd like to juxtapose that. With healthcare, we can commend the state government for what's been done with the former Braithwaite Memorial Specialist Hospital, which is now, I think, the River State Teaching Hospital.
River State University Teaching Hospital.
Thank you. Great work has been done there, no doubt. But
I like to commend you, Dayo, for saying this. No, that you are the one saying that great work has been done it means a lot to me.
Oh, great. But we do have concerns with what happens with health centers, primary healthcare centers in local government areas, where you go to and you find maybe one nurse. Sometimes the most basic of healthcare facilities or materials are not founded. So you find people who should not be going to places like the BMH or UPTH, live in villages, live in our communities, and coming to town, overburdening the facilities in these tertiary healthcare facilities. So what's happening? What's the situation with healthcare in Emohua, and what's your plan for it?
Well, Dayo, I'd like to use this opportunity to invite you on Tuesday when we will be doing the groundbreaking ceremony of some kind of sick bay, which my friends have referred to as clinic in the council premises, which that will house the MOH and others who work with him. It's actually going to have 4-bed space, in case we have an emergency in the council. And it's also open to members of the general public from time to time. Dayo is not, even if government provides this infrastructure for people in the rural areas, we need to do ours. At a time, medical doctors became prime targets of kidnappers. And nobody would want to go through that very harrowing experience. So that's where the people also come in. If you want these things, please ensure that they don't rot away. We recall that the previous administrations provided infrastructure in some villages and so on and so forth. So the people need to man them. They need to own these projects. Even the intervention that has been done by this present administration, ably led by Barrister Ian Wike. It may amount to nothing if the people don't police their projects and ensure that their medical doctors are given the kind of security that any other person deserves. Because I've always wondered why anybody should make doctors their targets. So we are going to do that. We are intervening in our own way, and that's why local governments also must live, up to its responsibilities. You recall my predecessor in office was almost at the verge of completing a health center that he built in Elela Limini. My administration is going to ensure that the health center is completed and open to the people for use. So we are doing our best. All that we need are the right people in these places. Governance is not too much of rocket science. Once you have the requisite skills, and above all, you fear God, the sky will be your limit. Because nobody has taken all that he has amassed to our debt.
Let's talk about welfare now. The welfare of workers in most parts of the country is a very big issue. Even payment of minimum wage right now, we have some state governors reneging on the agreement to pay that. That doesn't appear to be a concern here in Rivers State. The Rivers State government has consistently paid salaries. All concerns.
I'd like you to say that again.
All concerns with workers reportedly have been resolved, and however, we still hear complaints from local government workers in some councils who say that they have issues with getting salaries, or some of them even say that they're not being paid the minimum wage. The new minimum wage consequential adjustments have not been agreed upon. What's the situation in Emohua?
Well, it was in this studio that your colleague played some kind of tape of some workers who were protesting in Emohua local government. Dayo, you see, the problem that we have in this country, most times I think, I have the impression that they are insurmountable. Because the same people you want to help are the ones who come about to sing, we Seleto, we Worker, and all that. On this program, I was so frustrated to the point that I said to Eno that if I had a film clip of what I would meet as council chairman, I probably would have remained in university where I teach law and I'm happy. But you see, somebody needs to do the job. I got into a council and I hate to do what I'm doing now. I hate to talk about what I met. Everybody will come, try his best and leave. But I met a place where that needed housekeeping, and we tried to do some housekeeping. I met a situation. In fact, what really tickled my fancy was that there is a man in my community whom I know very well that died 7 years ago. To my chagrin, the man still lives in the payroll in Emohua local government area. He was still alive. So this is corruption. You can see on the face value that this is corruption. Then that gave me the insight to look further down, and I found persons who had retired since 2020 that were still on our payroll and earning salary. I had a situation where you find Adedayo Elusakin, UBA, Elusakin Dayo, Zenith, Elusakin U, Dayo, UBA. And I said to them, if I was...
Maybe Elusakin is a big family.
Maybe. So, and I said to them, look, gentlemen, you need to bear with me. If I read anything other than law, I probably would have signed off on them. I don't know who will come after me tomorrow, after I leave. So I needed to... It doesn't take too much just to do the right thing. Dayo, I met a situation where people were earning salaries far and above their level. Okay? And how then do you expect the dividends of good governance? How? If it were just to pay salaries, nobody would bother about spending so much money in contesting an election. So I had to look inwards. Every worker must earn his or her salary, just as the Bible has said. The Bible says that it is only laborers are worthy of their wages. Not people who sit in their houses, not people who stay in Abuja, not people who are doing all the other jobs.
We must wrap up this conversation right now. But one quick question, and I'd like a yes or no response if you can. Beyond your position as local government council chairman, now come 2023, do you have a higher political ambition, yes or no?
Well, God will determine what happens next.
On that note, to wrap up the conversation, many thanks for joining in, especially my guest, Emohua Council Local Government Chairman, Dr. Chidi. Dr. Lloyd, many thanks for your time.
Thanks, Dayo.
Commercial break right now. The news comes up top of the hour at 5 p.m. Do please stay with us.